everybody. I'm Kelly Wilkness here with Anita Joyce, and this is another DTT Plus where you get more of us. And today we are discussing forever homes. Is that a good idea? Can one home last a lifetime?
Well, it's interesting, this topic, because if you go on social media, everyone's talking about, this is my forever home. I have a forever home. And I'm thinking, wow, this is everywhere now.
Mm-hmm. I remember, I don't know, in mid-30s, something like that, people started moving to a bigger house or leaving an apartment and buying a house. And there was the concept of, well, this will be their forever home, because you could have the 2.5 kids or what have you. Obviously not everyone, but there were a number of people that were talking about things like that. And then I hadn't heard about that in a long time. And I agree. I'm starting to see this term pop up. And even if you do hashtag forever home, you get a lot of hits. So obviously it's back in the dialogue. Another thing that I think is happening now is that what was considered a starter home, a littler home, has become the forever home. Like you buy one house and that's your forever home. It's this sort of situation, particularly with regard to millennials, because they kind of had it tough. They came out of college at a hard time or, graduated from high school and then getting a job at a hard time, economically difficult, lots of things going on in the world, and not having the sense of that. Well, of course, there's going to be upward mobility and all of that, but without getting into worldwide economics and all of that.
Well, I'm seeing also it's people kind of in their 30s using this term. I'm not seeing people older than that using this term. Not to say they aren't, but I'm not seeing it. And I think it's interesting because, you can have any kind of plan, but, sometimes life throws you some curveballs.
Yes. So, it begs the question, forever home, the concept, begs the question, well, what is forever? Which is also a much broader topic than we're going to cover today in our DTT Plus. But, forever.
This sounds very spiritual.
Yes. And, on all sorts of levels.
I hope I'm not in this house 300 years from now.
Yeah. And what does forever mean? For everybody, it's a little bit different. Are they just sort of equating that with a long time? Or are they really?
Well, I take that to mean your entire lifetime. And 100 years ago or 200 years ago, that was very common. It was a very agrarian culture. Most families were doing a farming. And so you would inherit the farm. So you would be born on the farm, you would work the farm, and then you would die on the farm.
Is that the term, then you bought the farm when you died on the farm?
Something like that. And so those literally were forever homes, or forever the entire lifetime of the person. And so I find it interesting now that it's coming up because things have changed. It's a much more mobile society. People move a lot more now. It's a lot easier to move because of cars and planes and everything. And the job market is not like it was 100 years ago. You would, my dad worked for a company and he stuck with that company for his entire career and didn't ever change. And that was common a long time ago. But now, because companies no longer have pension plans, it's just a very mobile 401k that you can port to whatever company you're working for. There really isn't the company loyalty anymore. So people are moving now a lot more than they did 100 years ago. Although I did do a little research today, and apparently people are staying in houses now in the U.S. for an average of 12 years, which is more than it used to be. So it has gone up, but clearly most people have not gotten this memo.
Yes. And, maybe some people's concept of forever is, foreseeable forever. And maybe that is around
like
12
years.
Yeah, like around 12 years. Not to be a downer, but the divorce rate is awfully high as well. So that could really disrupt someone's foreverness in the place that they're living. You have to move for a job, or your kids want to go to a different school. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons why you might move, even within the same general area.
Yeah, you have kids, they move away. maybe a spouse passes away, maybe somebody gets sick. There's a lot of things that can go wrong and cause a move that you really hadn't planned for.
Because the forever home concept is an interesting and laudable concept. When you're purchasing a home, obviously you want to give it great consideration if you think you're going to be there forever with regard to the community and the schools, if you're going to have kids and things like that. But it's very appealing in that moving is hard, it's expensive, it's emotionally fraught. So if you thought, wow, one and done, this is the house. Also might want to consider not buying a gigantic house, because at some point your life might get smaller again. It could be 2 people, and then it might be more people and kids, or then it might get small for a period of time, and then maybe there'll be parents coming back and things like that. So there's going to be some growing and shrinking of the house. So you don't want something that's way too big or something that's teeny tiny if you're going to live with other people and considering having a family and whatnot. But it is a really interesting concept from a design perspective, which we want to explore today, because wow, if you thought you were going to stay there for, air quotes, forever, 12 years plus, 12 to 100 years, then you could make investments in the design of that home.
That's true.
That really would be spectacular, not only to support your lifestyle, but also your aesthetics. Because a lot of times people say, oh, I don't want to do that because I'm only going to be here for 5 years.
But it's also expecting a lot from your house, because the amount of people in the house often ebb and flow. You start out with 2 people, you then have kids, and then they fly the nest, so to speak. So then you're back down to 2. You might have a parent moving in. We did the starter home, and then we did the home later in a community that was great for raising children. That's where we had our kids. And then when our kids were older, we moved back in the city, kind of for a very urban lifestyle, which was great at the time. And now we're kind of enjoying a rural, just kind of quiet life. So I think I would be sad to have just been stuck with one of those my entire life, because I've enjoyed every place we've lived. And I think to have cut some of those out and just had one experience for me would be sad, because I like change and I like to kind of have it all. And you can more likely have it all if it's not all at one time. You just kind of have to do it linearly, just one at a time. But so I think it would have been sad for me. And the thought that I was never going to have another house would make me incredibly sad. But for some people, the thought that one house is it and they'll never have to move again, they'll never have to make this decision again. I think for some people, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, not only from the perspective of, oh, it's easy, I don't need to choose something else, but a lot of people obviously are very overwhelmed with a lot of design decisions and things like that in their home. So, if you did it and you love it and you don't ever have to do that again, that could be very appealing. But I think what's driving some of this now, especially with that demographic we're talking about, sort of millennial 30s category, they might not be able to afford what could be a forever home, depending on how their life grows. So I think that was in years past the concept of the starter home, because you just need 1 bedroom. If it was a forever home, it might just be too small. But I think people are also getting the idea that you don't need these giant homes. I mean, the McMansion concept was, what do you think that was? Late 80s, 90s?
Oh, it's still going on, I think.
Is it? I feel like
here, yes. I mean, in the city, yeah.
Yeah, because like where I am, people are not doing that anymore. Buying a piece of property and building as close to the property line as possible and making it as big as possible. In fact, there's a couple of communities where that was done and people are like, ugh,
I would say
not
in the burbs,
appealing.
I'm seeing that in the burbs. The one has all these different gables and roof lines, and it just looks like a jumbled mess. I don't like that.
Right.
But yeah, inside the city, it's a little better planning, I think, on that. A little better building practices. But yeah, I am seeing some pretty large houses, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's a lot to manage. And I've known people that have had massive houses that have had 6 and 7 bedrooms and bathrooms, and the house was dated and they couldn't sell it.
Yes, that's what I think has happened with those.
Not only because it was big, but because the person buying it was going to have to redo all those bathrooms and the kitchen. And if you've got 2 bathrooms to update, okay, well, it's an expense, but whatever. But when you've got 6 bathrooms, I mean, that gets to be, that's stressful.
Oh, I totally agree. And I think that there is in the zeitgeist now the idea that, small is the new big, and you'd rather have a smaller footprint and have it exactly as you liked it or as close as what you wanted as possible, that you don't need all this extra space, and that, it's kind of a bit wasteful to do something like that. And my main tip, if you're talking about having a home that you purchase be a forever home, is location, location, location. Right?
Oh,
I mean,
that
is the, real estate tip from any good realtor, right? If you have a cottage-sized home in a great school district in a terrific walkable part of town, then you're never going to lose money. And even if you can't afford to update all the bathrooms or whatnot, you're never going to lose money if you end up deciding it isn't forever for you. And then if it is forever for you, the idea that you could walk or just take a mile or a half drive to shopping and doctors and all of that is really great as you age. So I would look for some real estate that's in a place, wherever you are in the country or in the world, where you have access to a lot of good amenities, and that it's in a community, oftentimes older communities, more established, very leafy. Those are the things I would be looking for if in my mind I really wanted to be one and done. I'm buying this house and this is where I'm staying.
I think that's excellent advice. And we could have stayed where we were, but I, kind of wanted something different. So we did end up moving, and we're both loving it where we are now. But yes, you're right. I mean, if you have, grocery stores close by. I mean, where we are now, we're out in the country. I love our situation now. I love our neighbors. But I know this is not really a forever location because we're about 15 minutes from a grocery store. And when I'm 85, I do not want to be 15 minutes, 20 minutes from a grocery store. And I want to have some other services available for me. So, yeah, we're probably going to move back into the city at some point, but not now.
Who knows? By then you could have a working farm and you could be providing all your own veggies. No, I'm not going to be taking care of a property. No, no, I've eyed a few townhouses for later. So I don't even want to be dealing with a yard. I don't. So, Anita, you are not in the forever home camp then, right? Obviously.
Well, for me personally, but I don't have a problem with other people doing it.
Well, of course. I have had several homes in our lifetime. I feel like this house for the forward forever, not starting with a forever home, but from now, from 11 years ago when we moved in here, this I feel will be my forever home. Even if it's, there's 3 sets of stairs. Well, that's why I'm lifting weights and doing all the working out that I do now, because I don't want to not be able to do that. If I can't go to the 3rd floor and podcast with you anymore in 35 years or something, then I'm okay with that. I could podcast with you from downstairs, but I definitely want to be able to go up the stairs to my bedroom.
The houses we've looked at for the future have elevators. You could add an external elevator to your home for probably less than you think.
Wow. Well, I don't know if that would pass the historic regulations that we have on our home because it's on the National Register. I don't know about that. I think I'm just going to have to keep working out, which is fine. And I'm happy about that. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm all thumbs up for a forever home if it's going to work for you. I think it's a great concept. I think it's a great thing to think about. So we've been talking about this broader topic. Our last episode was don't downsize, right size. And now we're talking about can it be a forever home? And this isn't just about like talking about retirees and old people at all. This is stuff that people should be considering when they're making an investment in real estate and they're doing design work in their home. Because if it's your, like I mentioned earlier, if it's your forever home, go for it. Do whatever you want to do because you're going to enjoy it for a very, very, very long time. And on the flip side, if it's not your forever home, then you want to make some decisions that, might rein in your aesthetic a little bit, but you don't want to blow the budget on someplace you're not going to be all the time. So lots of really interesting things to think about no matter where you are in life and real estate.
Well, and what you've said is a good point, too, is if you're thinking about it being a forever home, try to find a house where at least there's one bedroom on the main floor with the washer, dryer, and the kitchen on the main floor if there's no elevator. So, that's something to think about.
We've got two thoughts going on here. Forever, maybe not forever, but think about what's right for you.
Exactly. And our overarching theme is make purposeful decisions. Don't just fall into it becoming a forever home because you haven't really thought about it. Really think this through and make sure the decision you're making is purposeful and not just something that you defaulted to because you just didn't really think about it. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us. This was so fun today. And remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Fabulous, fun, wow, even better than I had hoped or expected. These are just a few of the words used to describe a DTT design consult. We've been doing consults for many years, and boy, are we good at it. And people are loving the results of the advice and suggestions that we make for them. It's so easy to schedule a consult with us. Just simply go to our website, decoratingtipsandtricks.com, and click consult. There you'll be led through the very simple process. And sooner than later, you, I, and Anita will be discussing your home in detail. So sign up for a consult today. Let us help you design and decorate the home that you want and deserve. Looking forward to talking to you soon.